For decades, we've looked to NASA to uncover the secrets of the universe. We think of its powerful telescopes peering into distant galaxies, its rovers tasting the soil of other worlds, and its probes journeying to the cold, silent edges of our solar system. We've always seen NASA as looking out, reaching for the unknown. But their most terrifying discoveries weren't found in some faraway nebula or on an alien moon. They were found when NASA turned its satellites back around and looked at us. These are the truths about our own planet that we were probably never meant to see. A final warning, recorded in NASA's own data, about the future we are hurtling towards. These are the signals from a world in distress. The quiet alarms that have been ringing for years. And they're only getting louder. The evidence is now undeniable, and the message is clear. The greatest dangers we face aren't from the cosmos, but from the consequences of our own actions, right here at home. So, if you're ready to see what our world looks like through the unflinching eyes of science, stick around, but be warned, some of these truths are hard to swallow. And while you're here, if you appreciate deep dives into the science that's shaping our world, consider subscribing. It helps us continue to bring you stories just like this one. Today, we're counting down the most disturbing discoveries NASA has ever made about Earth, the invisible threat in our air. We usually think of pollution as something we can see, like the thick smog hanging over a city. But NASA's satellites have revealed a danger that is far more insidious and widespread and invisible. Poison seeping into the very air we breathe. Using advanced instruments like the Ozone Monitoring Instrument and the New Tempo mission, NASA has mapped our planet's air quality, and the picture it paints is deeply troubling. The main culprit they've been tracking is nitrogen dioxide, or NO2. It's a toxic gas, a key ingredient in smog, and it's mostly pumped into our air from burning fossil fuels in cars, power plants, and factories. This isn't some abstract problem, it's a direct threat. Exposure to NO2 is linked to a whole list of serious breathing and heart problems, including asthma. We knew it was bad, but NASA's view from space showed us the terrifying, global scale of it all. A recent NASA-funded study delivered a shocking revelation about a new source for this pollution: the massive warehouses that fuel our online shopping habits. Researchers looked at nearly 150,000 of these logistics centers and found that the constant parade of diesel trucks creates intense pollution hotspots. People living near these hubs breathe in, on average, almost 18% more toxic nitrogen dioxide than those who don't. But what makes this discovery truly disturbing is who it affects most. The data showed a stark pattern of environmental injustice. The communities surrounding these warehouses have, on average, 70% more black residents and 60% more Hispanic residents than the national median. This means the health burden of our next-day deliveries isn't being shared equally. It's being pushed onto marginalized communities. The data doesn't lie. NASA's satellites aren't just measuring gas, they're documenting how our shopping choices can lead to severe health consequences, often split right along racial and economic lines. This constant low-level poisoning is a silent crisis. It doesn't make headlines like a hurricane or an earthquake. But the data, collected from hundreds of miles up, shows a persistent and growing threat. NASA's newer instruments, like Tempo, now watch pollution over North America every single hour, giving us an unprecedented level of detail. And it proves the danger isn't just in some far-off industrial city. It's in our own neighborhoods, delivered by the very systems we've all come to rely on. The air we breathe is becoming a casualty of our convenience, and NASA has the receipts. Earth's hidden scars and unsettling voids. While a lot of NASA's discoveries focus on our future, some of the most unsettling findings reveal a planet with a violent past and a mysterious geology we're only just beginning to understand. Using ice-penetrating radar and gravity mapping satellites, NASA has peered beneath the ice sheets and deep into the Earth's mantle, finding things that just don't have an easy explanation. One of the strangest lies hidden under the massive Greenland ice sheet. There, NASA scientists found a giant, inexplicable void. It's a feature of staggering scale, a colossal emptiness that has left researchers scratching their heads. Is it a vast, collapsed cave system, a geological scar from a time before the ice? Something else entirely. And that wasn't the only secret Greenland was hiding. Elsewhere, under the Hiawatha Glacier, they found something even more dramatic, a 19-mile-wide impact crater buried under a half-mile of ice. At first, scientists thought this might be the smoking gun for a major climate shift in our recent past, but then analysis dated the impact to 58 million years ago, stark reminder of the cosmic violence our planet has survived. Finding a hidden crater is one thing, but NASA-backed research has also found evidence of catastrophes that left no crater at all. Across the eastern United States, scientists found something called shocked quartz. These are grains of sand with microscopic fractures, a telltale sign they were hit with immense, instant pressure. The only known force that can do that is a massive explosion, like a comet bursting in the atmosphere. It suggests our planet may have been hit by airbursts powerful enough to flatten forests and trigger wildfires, all without leaving an obvious mark. These are ghost catastrophes, their only trace etched into tiny grains of sand. Even deeper inside the Earth, NASA-supported studies have revealed anomalies that are rewriting geology textbooks. Deep within the mantle sit two continent-sized blobs, known as large low-velocity provinces, or LLSV. These mysterious structures are so different in composition and temperature that they slow down seismic waves passing through them. What are they? The theories are mind-boggling. One leading idea is that they are the remnants of Theia, an ancient, alien planet that collided with Earth billions of years ago, its corpse now buried deep inside our own world. Whatever they aren't just sitting there. They influence volcanic activity and the movement of tectonic plates in ways we still don't fully grasp. These discoveries, the voids, the hidden craters, the ghost catastrophes, the remnants of a planetary collision are so unsettling because they shatter the idea that we live on a quiet, stable planet. NASA's gaze has shown us that the ground beneath our feet isn't as solid as we thought. It's a world with a history of trauma and a present still full of secrets. The ever-present danger from above, for all the threats brewing down here on the surface. NASA's work is also a constant reminder that we live in a cosmic shooting gallery. The agency's Planetary Defense Coordination Office keeps a vigilant watch, cataloging thousands of near-Earth objects, or NEAs, and their findings confirm a disturbing truth. The question isn't if a major impact will happen again, but when, and whether we'll be ready. Most of the time, this is quiet, routine work. But every so often, an object shows up that sends a jolt through the scientific community. A recent example was asteroid 2024 Year 4. Shortly after it was discovered, its probability of hitting Earth in 2032 spiked, briefly making it one of the most dangerous asteroids tracked in decades. Thankfully, as more observations came in, the risk dropped to pretty much zero. But the incident was a stark reminder of how quickly a new threat can pop out of the darkness. And those are just the ones we know about. Every single day, Earth gets slammed by nearly 50 tons of space material. Most of it is dust that burns up harmlessly, but occasionally, something bigger gets through. The 2013 Chelyabinsk event in Russia was a brutal example, when a rock just 60 feet across exploded with the force of 30 atomic bombs, injuring over 1,000 people. NASA's catalog contains objects that make the Chelyabinsk meteor look like a pebble. One of the most infamous is 1950 DA, a half-mile-wide monster. While the odds are low, it has a non-zero chance of hitting Earth in the year 2880. An impact from that would be a global catastrophe, triggering planet-wide devastation, and new potential threats like 2023 TL4, or the more recently tracked 2025 OR1 and 2025 OW, highlight the relentless pace of discovery. Each near-miss is a free lesson in why planetary defense is so important. The most disturbing part of this is its unpredictability. An asteroid the size of an airplane, like 2025 OW, can be considered routine by scientists because these flybys happen all the time. We're counting on NASA to see them coming. But what about the ones they don't see? The ones that sneak up on us from the direction of the sun, hidden in its glare. An even more significant event is on the horizon, not an impact, but a chillingly close pass. In April 2029, the asteroid Apophis, an 1,100-foot-wide behemoth, will fly by Earth closer than our own high-orbit communication satellites. It will be visible to the naked eye, a silent, terrifying reminder of the cosmic boulders that share our space. While scientists have ruled out an impact for at least the next century, that flyby will be a moment of global reflection on just how vulnerable we really are. The drowning world. For decades, sea level rise felt like a distant problem, something for our grandkids to worry about. But NASA's satellites have turned that distant fear into our current, accelerating reality. Using a continuous stream of data since 1993, missions like Sentinel-6 Michael Freilich have been measuring the height of the ocean with millimeter-level precision, and the verdict from this 30-year record is one of the most disturbing discoveries of our time. Our oceans are rising, and the speed of that rise is picking up, fast. Since 1993, The global average sea level has risen by about 4 inches. Now, that might not sound like much, but the speed of the change is what's terrifying. The rate of rise has more than doubled in just 3 decades. Back in the early 90s, it was about 2.1 millimeters per year. By 2024, it had jumped to 4.5 millimeters per year. The data from 2024 delivered a particularly nasty shock. Coinciding with the hottest year on record, the global sea level jumped by an unprecedented 1/4 of an inch in a single year. That surge was way higher than predicted, driven by a 1-2 punch, melting ice sheets and something called thermal expansion. As the ocean absorbs over 90% of our planet's excess heat, the water itself expands, like mercury in a thermometer. In 2024, that expansion was the main driver, a direct consequence of record-breaking ocean temperatures. This isn't just about numbers on a chart, this is about real-world consequences, happening now. This relentless rise fuels more frequent and destructive high-tide flooding, already plaguing coastal communities from Miami to Jakarta. It pushes storm surges further inland and chews away at coastlines, literally washing away land from beneath homes and roads. But perhaps the most disturbing part of this story comes from another set of NASA satellites, the GRACE missions. They don't measure ocean height. They measure changes in gravity to track where Earth is losing water. And their data revealed an invisible crisis that's making things even worse. We are draining the world's groundwater. A sweeping NASA analysis revealed that we are pumping groundwater out of our continents far faster than nature can put it back. And where does all that water end up? Eventually, in the oceans. In fact, groundwater depletion is now considered a major contributor to sea level rise, a factor right up there with the melting of glaciers. We are literally pumping ancient water out from under our feet and pouring it into the sea, where it fuels the flooding of our coasts. It's a crisis of compounding failures. The planet heats up, which expands the ocean, melts the ice, and drives us to drain our precious aquifers, which in turn raises the sea even more. NASA's data shows a world caught in a terrifying feedback loop. A world where our coastlines are being steadily, and now rapidly, erased. Number 1. The compounding climate catastrophe. The single most disturbing discovery NASA has made about Earth isn't a single event or a lone data point. It's the slow dawning horror, confirmed by supercomputer models and decades of satellite data, that we are heading towards a future of compounding catastrophes. This is the idea that climate impacts won't happen one by one. Instead, multiple disasters will overlap and feed each other, creating cascading failures that could overwhelm entire societies. And this isn't just a what-if scenario. A NASA-led study has shown these interconnected crises become widespread and severe if the world warms past the critical threshold of 2 degrees Celsius. So what does a compounding catastrophe actually look like? Picture this. A region is hit by a record-breaking heatwave and a severe drought at the same time. The heat turns the forests into a tinderbox. The drought means there's no moisture to slow things down. That combination leads to extreme fire weather, creating megafires bigger, hotter, and faster than anything we're used to. This exact scenario is projected to get worse and last longer in places like the American West. But the chain reaction doesn't stop there. The fire burns away all the vegetation holding the soil together. When the seasonal rains finally come, there's nothing to absorb the water, leading to massive flash floods and devastating landslides in the very same areas that were just on fire. At the same time, the heat and lack of water cause widespread crop failures, threatening food supplies and the economy. That's what a compounding crisis is. Fire, flood, landslide, and famine, all hitting the same place, all because of rising global temperatures. NASA's climate models allow scientists to see where and how these overlapping disasters will likely hit. The 2-degree study found that at that point, over a quarter of the world's population could face an extra month of severe heat stress every single year. The models show the Amazon rainforest facing a dangerous cocktail of heat and drought, pushing it towards collapse. They show equatorial regions suffering an extreme number of dangerously hot days, while other areas get hit with unprecedented rainfall. As one of the NASA study's authors put it, the escalating impacts of all the climate extremes studied could cause significant damage to communities and economies. This is the final warning written in NASA's data. For years, we've treated climate change like a list of separate problems. Sea level rise over here, wildfires over there. But NASA's big picture science reveals that this view is dangerously simplistic. The real threat is the synergy, how these disasters work together. We're pushing on a system of interconnected dominoes, and we're beginning to see them all start to wobble at once. Conclusion: from the invisible poisons in our air to the very ground shifting beneath our feet, from the cosmic threats in our cosmic backyard to the waters swallowing our shores, and finally, to the specter of disasters feeding on each other, NASA's unflinching look at our home planet has revealed some deeply disturbing truths. The same agency we built to explore other worlds has given us the most compelling and terrifying evidence of the crisis on our own. The data from its satellites is not an opinion, it's a measurement. It is the Earth's vital signs, and they are telling us our planet is running a fever. The ice is melting, the seas are expanding, and our climate is being pushed toward a state of dangerous instability. But these discoveries are not a reason to give up. They are a final, urgent call to get smart and to get to work. The future is not yet written. The same ingenuity that lets us measure the ocean down to the millimeter is the same ingenuity we can use to build a sustainable world. But the window to make that choice is closing. What we do with this knowledge, with this final warning from the silent sentinels orbiting above us, well, that's a question science can't answer. That choice is ours, CTA. Thanks for sticking with us through some heavy stuff. If you want to explore more of the incredible science that's shaping our world, be sure to check out another one of our videos, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, so you never miss one.